Hi guys, and welcome back. Our mission, your life should be on your terms, no one else. We do not want you to live your life based on other people's opinions, and that is what the platform is for you to find the tools and resources, strategies and techniques to start living your life the way you want. That's the goal. And today we want to talk about wealth and what it means to you. And when people hear the word wealth, most people say, maybe it means a lot of money. So if you ask someone, do you want to be wealthy? They'll say, oh yes. And then you say, okay, what does that mean to you? And they say, what do you mean? Yeah, but what does it mean to you? It's like, maybe they throw out the numbers, say, well, so it means a lot of money, for most people at least. Okay, so what's the number? But if you don't know your number, how are you ever going to get there? And if you throw out the number, it might be, I need 10 million bucks. Okay, good. Now you know what wealth means to you, so you can see it, you can have a picture, and you can have a goal of reaching that 10 million. The next question might be, okay, so where do you stand today? How much money do you have? What's your process of making progress towards your goal of 10 million? Well, actually, I don't know. I haven't really started. How do you mean? And that is exactly the problem with wealth. For the people who don't have it, for the people who do, they don't have the problem. They know what they want, and they're on track getting it. And that's the difference. And that is why it's so important to know what does it mean to you. Because we're going to focus in this section on wealth in terms of financial terms, even though my personal view is it's more about the feeling. The feeling of wealth can come from different sources. Financial wealth can be one of them, but it's something you feel from inside of you whether or not you have wealth. So if you ask a monk, they would probably call themselves wealthy. Maybe they don't have a lot of financial wealth, but they have other kinds of wealth, which means they are happy within, and they're happy for what they have and for who they are and for what they can do and contribute to others. So you need to know what wealth means to you. One, I would say, the feeling. What is the feeling you want to have? Because I guess it's not just about a number that you say, okay, I want to have this number because when I do, I'm going to feel great. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But then the question is, what does that great mean to you? What is the feeling you're looking for? And of course, are there other ways to find that feeling that you can get? Doing different things or behaving different ways or whatever it might be, knowing different things or serving others in different ways? Or is it only about the number? That is something I want you to think about. But now let's take one step aside and say, if we're focusing on financial wealth, then again, numbers matters. Because if you don't know what your number is, you don't even know where you stand, how are you going to create the path between not knowing where you are to not knowing where you're going? How are you going to reach that goal of yours if it's not even a goal and if you don't even know the number? That's the challenge. So the first thing is actually to sit down and say, okay, what does this mean to me? And how can I start my journey towards that goal if it is an important enough goal? And that's the question. And some of the steps that we take here is for you to figure it out, to break it down, and to start making that journey. And that is what we're going to go through, not so much today, but in following sessions. So you have to know your numbers, and the key thing here is really to think about money coming in, not just saying, whoa, I own this big ass property in Malibu or wherever it is. Great. But the problem is, if you don't do anything with the property, it just stands there, it's money out. It's a liability in a sense that it's costing you money. Cash flow going out from your pocket. So even if you don't do shit, there's money out of your pocket, not money in. What we want to talk about when we focus on wealth is really cash flow coming in. You can have assets which either increase in value, decrease in value, cost you cash flow out or not. That's a different topic, which is part of the bigger picture wealth. But the focus on the platform and for us is really cash flow, because money coming in, that is money you can use. And we all need to live, meaning we need to eat, we need to have a roof over our head, and so forth. There are lots of things that we want to do, and that needs cash flow in so that we can spend it the way we want to spend it, of course, which means focus on the cash flow. Passive income is the name of the game. Why is that? Because, as Warren Buffett said, if you're not making money 24/7, most likely you will work until you die. I'm not sure you followed. If you don't find a way making money 24/7, i.e. passively, you will work until you die. So the question is, do you want to work until you die? Basically, go to work, do your thing, whatever you do, get the money, spend the money. Go to work, get the money, spend the money. Never ending story of the same behavior giving you the same kind of result. If you want to break that chain, do something different, you need to find a way of generating the same kind of income that you need, but from different kind of sources, multiple sources of income, cash flow, and focus should always be passive. So how can I make income come to me in a passive way so I don't have to trade my time for money? Regardless of what you do, where you are, or when, you should always think passive. How can I make this passive? How can I get that money passive? How can I set up a structure so that I'm receiving passive income? That should be something you just think about all the time, because then your brain will help you figure out ways how you can generate passive income. So that's the super important thing. And obviously, you need to break your numbers down. So what we're going to do in an upcoming session is we're going to talk about the wealth pyramid. So we have a pyramid starting with the base, financial security. And then there are different layers. But the cool thing is, if you have a pyramid, and if we think about the pyramids in Egypt, they were built with the same kind of blocks. And the same thing is going to be for this pyramid. And the cool thing is, the first block that you use is really like a runner. If you want to run a marathon for the 2,000 meters, the first step, guess what, is going to be identical to the last one. It's still just a step. Same thing, you're doing the same thing again. The same thing with creating wealth or financial abundance. One brick in this pyramid at a time, but as you start adding them up, you will get higher and higher and higher up in the pyramid. And that is what we're going to do. So in the coming sessions, we'll go through the wealth pyramid, how to think, what to do, how to take you to the first level, and how to start think to make it happen for you. Because if you just start making this happen for you, then obviously the first brick or the 50th or the 50 millionth brick is going to be the same. It's just a brick. The only thing that will change is really the numbers. But it's still the same process. You still do the same thing, just as with running. And you can also use any other metaphor you want, but there is a clear scientific process. You do the same thing, nothing really changed. Only thing is, it's adding up and you're doing it slightly different in terms of financial wealth. It's just a change in terms of the numbers. So instead of you thinking maybe $100, maybe you're thinking 1,000, or maybe you're thinking 10,000, maybe you're thinking 100,000. But it's still the same thing. You still think the same way. You still do the same thing. The only difference is it's with a greater number, and that's it. So building a foundation to stand on, that's what we're going to go through in the when we're talking about the wealth pyramid. So there is a clear red line, or we're trying to connect the dots all through the wealth section for you to understand the basics, start taking the first steps, and obviously starting your journey upwards in the pyramid to create financial security, and obviously in the end financial abundance, meaning you can do whatever you want, whenever you want, not caring about other people's opinions. And that's basically when you say you don't give a fuck. And that's what we're going to go through in the following sessions.